Okay, my last video in response to this kind of cut off pretty quickly. Um, so I had to post another one and get my thoughts together and further hear what was out there and what was being said and what people were thinking. Um, and I guess where I'm at with this now is that um, and right now I'm honestly I'm thinking it's pretty unfair that everybody is ganging up on Chris Brown right now. True enough, what he did was wrong, and there's no excusing that. The fact that he put his hands on a female and allowed himself to get that angry or that hostile, um, it was wrong, and it's a very bad thing. You should never let yourself get that way. But I mean, people, be realistic. Let's be very realistic, and this is for men and women. Um, to I want to get the feedback from both of you in the same. I want to know why women feel like it's okay for them to push a man's buttons, to physically assault a man, to smack a man in his head, smack a man in his face, physically attack a man, and then if a man so much as raises his hand, not even to hit her, but just to scare her, the first thing they do is grab the phone and want to call 911. Again, men, why do you feel it's okay to put your hands on a female if you do put your hands on a female? Why do you feel it's okay for you to use a woman as a punching bag? Third, why don't people just walk away? What's so hard? You can't be that attached to somebody where you feel like you've got to physically put your hands on them. You don't own anyone. You don't have ownership over anyone. They're not your child. They're not your property or possession. So why do you feel like you have the right to put your hands on them in any way that's not loving or respecting? That this is for men and women. Women bank on the fact that they are a woman and they know that a man can't put his hands on them, and if he puts his hands on them, they can call the police. So they'll go upside his head and they'll smack him, bite him, spit on him, scratch him, or do all kinds of things. And the man has to, if he is in love with a woman, he's got to constantly live in the fear of her being physically abusive and aggressive to him, and the fear of knowing that if he so much as pushes her or anything of that matter, he's gonna go to jail. Um, it has come out in recent news and stuff that I've seen on TV and stuff like that that Rihanna was also very physical with Chris Brown and has been the past few months with slapping him in his face, slapping him upside the head, cursing him out, things of that nature. So, is Chris Brown justified? No, he's not. But Chris Brown is not the only guilty party in that relationship. There's always three sides: his side, her side, and the truth. None of us know the truth right now. None of us know what led to it. Rihanna, he could have been driving, and Rihanna could have been. I found these text messages and smacking him beside his head, smacking him all in his face, smacking him in his chest, or punching him in his chest, all kinds of things. And he probably was fed up and sick of it, probably to the point where he had enough. And if, in fact, she was doing that, she needs to be held accountable for her actions. She also needs to seek some kind of mental counsel. I feel like Chris Brown needs to go to therapy, very much so. He needs to work things out with himself, mentally, emotionally, and possibly find a higher ground in religion. I also feel like Rihanna needs to also work things out mentally, emotionally, and find a higher ground within religion. Because if Chris Brown was physically beating on Rihanna the entire time of their relationship, or if in fact it was a relationship where he had been assaulting or battering her, or she was a woman of a violent relationship, it would have not gone this long before we heard something. They are too they're too commercial. They're too in the open. They're too pictures in Barbados. They're too pictures shopping, pictures at the game, pictures here, pictures there. They're too in the open for someone not to have noticed a physical threat in their relationship prior to this. So this, in my opinion, is this to me was not an issue of Chris Brown being a woman beater or Chris Brown beating on Rihanna. It was an incident of they probably both of them were fed up. She was doing whatever she was doing and he was doing whatever he was doing, and it led to this incident. There's also been things of I've read on the internet. I'm not sure there's any truth to it, but there have been things of um, Rihanna quote unquote giving him a sexually transmitted disease. If in fact that's the case, what's the excuse then? If a person gives someone HIV and they know they have it prior to their spouse contracting it, they're subject to spend the rest of their life in prison. Herpes is not. You can't give that back. You can't clear that up. That's something you got for the rest of your life. That's another possibility of what could have set him off. Even if that's the case, leave her alone. Get out the relationship. Um, I'm not saying any one party is wrong. I'm not saying any one party is right. I'm saying don't be so quick to point your finger at Chris Brown like you're the bad guy and you did something wrong and your career is ruined. You don't know what was going on. Just like Rihanna needs to be a spokesperson for battered women, Chris Brown needs to be a spokesperson for men who need to mature and learn how to handle their anger differently and learn how to be more respectable and be a man about how they handle things. So I'm not taking anyone's side, not Chris Brown's, not Rihanna's, but I am saying this much: be fair in your opinion. Know everything before you assume or want to shun someone off as the black sheep of the R&B world. Um, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened. We weren't there. None of us were. Um, so just be fair. Be completely fair. Um, and not only that, Chris Brown's family has made statements about, the incident. Why haven't we heard anything from Rihanna's family? You know, the first people to always speak up in your defense is your family. And yet they're not speaking up in her defense. I'm not saying that, there's something that she's, guilty of anything, but I'm saying, why haven't they? Um, just my opinion. Again, like I say last time, I'm praying for both of you. I hope that you both are okay. I hope that this gets resolved and you both can get back to making money and entertaining, which is what you do. And I hope people can actually be fair and not be judgmental, because no one can judge anyone. Because I guarantee, just like he made a mistake, you're going to make a mistake. And the next person is going to make a mistake. It's just what happens. Alright, thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Send me your comments, all that good stuff. Can't wait to hear about it. Alright, love each other, love yourself, and just be smart. Alright, bye.